quick video to show you this new character sheet for writers that I've been working on. It's sort of an alternative to the typical character sheet that I see online, which has a lot of questions and details that are mostly irrelevant, that may never come up in the story, and that really just suck you into wasting all of this time filling out character sheets instead of actually writing your characters. So this is what I've come up with as an alternative. I've got a Notion version here as well as a Google Docs version, which looks pretty different, but has all the same information. It works in the same way. And the anchor of it at the top is this character ID card, which gives you a spot to put, name, gender, age, background or origin, occupation or role, things you can adapt a little bit depending on the genre or setting that you're writing in, and then a little description box, which does expand as you type. And the idea is to focus on aspects of their description that are identifying details, things that are unique about the character, especially something that reflects their personality or their role in their story, not just describing every specific detail of them, like their head is round. I'm sure most people's heads are round. Like just focus on what's specific and unique to your character. And I've included a place for you to add a reference image. This is something I've been recommending a lot of my fellow new aspiring writers. Just find an actor or actress, find some rando on Pinterest that looks like your character, especially when it's something you're not publishing. This is just for your reference behind the scenes. Just use a picture of someone that exists as your reference rather than spending all your time trying to describe their cheekbones or something. Put that picture there, and then if it comes up that you need to remember what they look like or describe something, you can just look at that picture and and you're not spending all this time trying to write that. Below the ID card, we have this motivations flowchart. So you start with a surface desire, or I've called it an inciting desire before. It's the thing that gets them out of bed. In the story, what do they want that's motivating them to act in your story? And then you have your core desire. What's the deeper thing they want behind it all that drives that surface desire and everything else they do? And then if they have a unique strength, is there something unique about them that qualifies or empowers them to reach this desire? And then do they have a fear? Usually you'd connect your fear to the deeper desire. So if their deeper desire is to be loved or to have power or to gain knowledge, then, if their desire is to be loved, their fear would be isolation, to be unwanted. If it's power, then their fear might be imprisonment, to be powerless. And then we define a flaw, usually directly related to their desire. What unique flaw specifically would be an obstacle to them reaching their desire? And then a self-deception, which goes a little deeper and isn't always necessary, but can help really flesh out a character, is what misconception or lie that they believe, usually about themselves or about the world around them, is an obstacle to them reaching their goal. I typed reading their goal here. We'll fix that in real time. Reaching their core desire. And then a wound. Did they have a wound, an event that they carry with them, maybe that led to the development of that self-deception? And that can really help flesh out a character, make them feel more full and real and developed. And at the bottom, I have these personality cues where you can define their social preference. Like, are they introverted or extroverted? Are they going to spend their time reading a book or going to the tavern? What's their perception style? Do they rely on their senses or on their intuition when they're navigating and making decisions? Do they have a structure preference? Do they prefer spontaneity or structured predictability? And then are they more likely to lead with their brain or with their feelings? Are they brain-led or heart-led? This gives you a quick reference when things come up and you just need to know, okay, how can I make sure my character is consistent in the way that they respond to things happening? You can reference this little chart, and someone who's really perceptive and familiar will recognize that this is Myers-Briggs. It's the 4 letters of the MBTI type personality types, but this just really gets to the heart of it. Instead of giving you whole sheets to research and read interactions, it's like, what about it is relevant to writing your story? Also included a couple bonus things. I've given a filled example, which rather than using a character, it's actually just me. I'm Cody, I'm a dude, I'm 33, I'm Canadian. Here's some a little bit silly, but some motivations for me. Here's my Myers-Briggs input. So if you're not sure how to answer a question, you can look at that example based on me. There's also what I'm calling a deeper desires tool. So besides their surface desire, like to win the horse race, what's the deeper thing motivating them? Like, is it being good or being unique or being secure or being loved? And then for most characters, you could just define, okay, what's their main motivating priority? What's their main desire that drives them? But for a really key character that you want to really develop, I said really way too many times, I'm sorry, but you can you can sort these by, that's their number one priority is to be loved and needed. But their number two is to be unique and authentic. And, maybe being powerful is actually their last priority. That's just not really consideration for them. And that way you can use this just as a quick reference for yourself to make sure that your characters are behaving consistently. And then when you know what their number one is, you can come back and you can fill that in the character sheet as their core desire. And then on the Google Docs version, it's over in the tabs. You have all the same stuff. There's me again. And you can get all of this for free on my Patreon. You don't even have to become a free member. I'm just using it as a link hub so that I can send you to one place and keep this updated as I add new versions, or I'm eventually going to make a downloadable PDF version. Well, I hope that is helpful to you and inspiring in some way. I've heard a few people I've shared this with are already excited to start using it for their characters. I'm using it for my characters, and I'm open to suggestions. I want to keep developing it to really make it the best concise character sheet that it can be, to make it as useful as possible. So if you have ideas, something seems unnecessary or odd, or something that you think is missing that should be included, let me know your feedback and I'll keep developing it, and I'll keep it up for free on that same link. So as it changes and develops, you can check in and see those new versions. And if this is the first video of mine you've seen, my name is Cody. I am a musician and producer from Canada, and I decided in my 30s that I want to finally get serious about pursuing this lifelong passion I've had for writing and storytelling. So I'm researching and I'm learning and I'm developing these skills, trying to become a great storyteller. And I've decided to document it all on this channel, in part for accountability, so that, if I'm not uploading videos, that's a good indication I'm not writing. So it keeps me accountable, but also because I'm hoping that it can encourage and inspire you to build your worlds and tell your stories, because we need more genuine stories, more people putting their ideas out there. So it's not just all the same recycled mainstream Hollywood junk, but whatever your story is, it needs to be told. Even if it's weird and awkward, someone's going to love it. And I hope it can encourage you to tell your stories. So if that's you, consider subscribing. Come along with me on this adventure. I still haven't come up with a sign off. Stay writing.